Hi everybody, Laura here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a clean and colorful Ornate Star project to share with you. This Ornate Star die just came out in the latest December 2024 release, and I couldn't wait to try it and do some inlay using some of the new solid color cardstock colors. So if you take out red and green, these four shades are new: Creamsicle, Honey, Sage, and Rainforest. Add the red and the green for the rainbow ornate star. I couldn't wait. I know this is going to be not everyone's cup of tea, but it is mine. And I just sometimes like to sit down and inlay. It's a little tedious, but you get in the zone. And so first I die cut it out of some white. I used Hammermill. And I will mention that every time I do this, I use a metal shim. I don't know that you necessarily have to use a metal shim, but these cardstocks are pretty thick by Simon Says Stamp, and I wanted to make sure that I got a nice, clean cut. So you only need a little bit for the center, because I'm only going to use the little parts in the center with that red. By the way, I believe this is lipstick red cardstock, and I'm using some of this Easy C tape. This was an afterthought, but I thought, what if I tape it down so that it holds all these pieces together until I'm ready to use them? That way I don't lose them. You might sneeze, you might huff and puff, the dog might jump up on the table or the cat, and then you got your little pieces and who knows where they went. So that's why I taped them down. And now I'm doing the next part with that Creamsicle, and I'm just working my way every little portion of the star. I'm going to be symmetrical. It might not make really sense what I'm doing right now, but I have a method in my mind. I'm working my way red in the center and then orange, yellow, green. Get it? Okay. So using that Easy C to hold them together. Here's that honey. I would say, I haven't been told, but I think that this cardstock is 100 pound. And that's why I used a metal shim. I'm using my Anna Griffin Impress. Cuts it like butter. Sometimes you ever have this when you die cut and they all stay intact. That's like when the card making gods are on your side. But sometimes they don't, and I have both happen on this project. Sometimes it all goes willy-nilly and you just got to do the best you can. Sometimes it stays together and you feel like you got your life in order. It really doesn't matter as long as you don't lose the pieces. But hey, I've done this kind of inlay stuff a million times, and I'll get going and I'll be missing one little sliver. And you know what? I just go ahead and die cut what I need and fill in the gaps. It's all going to work out in the end, and nobody will know the difference. Okay, so this is a little green. Using my little embellishment wand. This is the Place and Peace. I love these wands by Simon Says Stamp. There's a Place and Peace and a Pierce and Score. Maybe this is a Place and Score. Can't ever remember the names for the life of me, but there's two of them, and I use them both on every card I make. This shade here, one of my faves, it's called Sage, and I just think it has a nice dusty kind of vibe to it. It's like a dusty aqua, and maybe I'm using too much tape, you know? Could be, but I just didn't want to lose these little pieces. Last piece, Rainforest. Now, I've been using slivers half the time, but now that I got to this part, I've been using full, die cutting the full star. So if you wanted to go ahead and die cut the full star on all, 5 or 6 shades, then you could mix and match your colors and create more than one project, be thrifty and nifty. Here I'm adding a little liquid glue, using Barely Art glue. A little bit, not the whole thing, but just enough to glue it down onto some white cardstock. So when I'm done, I'm going to cut this out, but I needed like a backer. If you wanted to, you could just glue this right onto your card base, and then you won't have to cut it out. But I knew I wanted to pop it up. So I'm just adhering all these little pieces. And I know this might be, some people might think this is too tedious, but others don't. Some people like it, some people don't. And you know what? This probably ain't going to be like a mass production type of thing, but there's something very calming. It's like putting together a puzzle. You can put on some soft jazz and just inlay till your heart's content. And you see I'm working in rainbow order, but you could customize the colors, do it all in yellow, do it all blue and white. You see where I'm going? You could also, if you wanted to get real fancy schmancy, back this Ornate Star with acetate. You'd have to cut out that acetate, but then you could turn it into a star shaker. I'm just spitballing some ideas. Can I tell you a story? Because, you know, I'm just inlaying at this point, so you get the idea. But the other day I went to my son's hockey game. He's playing high school hockey here in Minnesota. He's loving it. It's so much fun. They've got the concession. I bought a popcorn. Came in a box, like the old-fashioned box of popcorn. Sitting there munching away, just excited. And I don't know what happened, but I got Butterfingers. You ever get Butterfingers where just you lose your grip on something and you don't know what happened, but the popcorn went flying out of my hands and tumbled all over the people who were sitting in front of. These are like bleacher seats. Went all over these two teenage girls. They turned around and I was mortified. I must have apologized 55 times. I said, I'm so sorry. I feel horrible. Luckily, it was just dry popcorn, but it went in their hair. They had hoodies on, you know, the popcorn goes in the hoodie. They're picking it out. They were actually pretty nice. But they were kind of like, what the heck, lady? Hold on to your popcorn. Needless to say, I'm never getting popcorn again in a public place. I just don't trust myself. I don't know what happened, but I got Butterfingers. Does that ever happen to you? You know, ever just like you pick up something in the kitchen and then you drop it? You don't know why? Well, that's fine, but popcorn in a public place? Laura, get it together. Okay, I'm using these I love these little detail scissors. They're by Spellbinders. I'll have a link to everything I use in this video in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. But look at that finished inlay star. Here's another new product, the Shimmer Vellum. I'm going to die cut one of these nested stars. It's not exactly the same shape star, but I think it makes a nice mat for the back of it. So, and I am in love with this pearly Shimmer Vellum. Take it off camera, run it through my die cutting machine, and I'll show you how this looks. You can see it's not the perfect shape, but it works. Now for a card base, I'm using Buttercream. I've got the Simon's stamp. What is this called? A score mat, score pal. Using the Teflon bone folder to score side A2 card base. Foam tape, the Big Mama foam tape. It's nice and thin. Popping this up on the vellum. Sorry, my hair is getting in the way. I need to pull it back or wear a hairnet. And then a little bit of glue. I'm being strategic to put the glue where the foam tape is because that's where the pressure will be. And I'm going to glue this right flat down onto my cream card base. Center it. This is very symmetrical, very neat and tidy. Snip off the little bit of excess hanging off the sides. Now for a sentiment, I wanted to do something very clean and simple. So I pulled out one of the reverse Christmas greetings sentiment strips. It's already been used. You can see, did you see the new Easy strips? Came out in the DieCember release. It's a big die that can cut out all the sentiments at once, but you got to get the Easy sentiment strips, which these aren't. So I use the old mini Guillotine. Works like a charm, but I got to tell you, I was so excited when I saw the new Easy rectangle strips die. This one says Peace and Joy, popping it up right in the center. I'm going to add a few clear sequins for a little glimmer, little glitz and glimmer, and Barely Art glue for that. And this card is finished. I love all the clean space. Love that Shimmer Vellum, the Inlay Rainbow, Peace and Joy. But you could change out that sentiment for a different occasion. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.